when you EQ sweep, when you turn up and down specific frequencies inside people's voices, why will it sound different across different systems?
Yeah, there's so many moving parts, and I'll show you specific examples. I mean, we'll show it in action where you can hear it yourself, but just as an overview, every piece of software, when it comes to the EQ, the engineers, the software developers had to pick what math they were going to use to make this thing work. So in EQ, what does it do? It allows you, and in this case, it allows you to isolate a specific frequency. Well, there's math required to isolate frequencies within a voice. And so all the software is very different in terms of what choices they made to isolate it. And it'd be like baking a cake. There's 5,000 recipes to bake a lemon cake. And you know, which one's the right one, which one's better? Yeah, we could argue about that for decades. Point is, there's many ways to do it. It's not a settled science where there's one way to do it. And therefore, just the math being used by the EQ equalizers is totally different. Then you have hardware differences. Are you listening off of good headphones, weak headphones, great headphones? How about your studio monitors? Is your room set up right? You have other factors in terms of just the physical stuff that play into it. Your audience. Most of our audience, unfortunately, these days are going to be listening on smartphones. And then even on the smartphone, totally different. Some speakerphones are great. Some are horrible. Some people are listening off their Bluetooth. Rather, they've got in-ear monitors. That's happening all the time so they're not listening on their speakerphones. The playback systems are all different. And if you sweep, since the software that allows you to sweep is going to be different in terms of what the engineers chose when they developed it, and the playback systems that you play it back on are going to be all different, you have a high probability of taking something out of your voice that when played back across a range of tools are going to sound worse than if you had done nothing.